All right, so Kamaru Usman and his team have come out and said that they want to fight, or that Kamaru, rather, wants to fight potentially Michael Chiesa. I don't know where that came from or what how that works into certain things, but it doesn't really seem to make sense at this point because Michael Chiesa, I think, is ranked like number 6 or 7. He's not in the top 5, I don't believe. Even if he was, I mean, Colby is the one who really deserves that shot. And if Leon Edwards beats Nate Diaz, like pretty much we all think is going to happen, then Leon Edwards would deserve it next. So it's a little bit weird. Maybe the money's not right. I don't know, but it seems a little bit off. And it does give an outward appearance almost like Usman is ducking Colby in a sense. And he did say, he was asked in interviews, who is the hardest fight you've had? And he did say it was Colby Covington. So that says a lot. And the fact that, that fight was 2-2, potentially 3-1 going into that 5th round. And Colby won the first 2 minutes of that 5th round before he got knocked out. And he did that with a broken jaw. That says a lot. So it doesn't make Kamaru look too good. You never know the conversations that are happening behind closed doors, but it does look a little bit off, and it does look a little bit weird because that is the fight to make, Colby versus Usman. That 100% is the fight to make. But if Chiesa got it, I guess that I feel like Chiesa would need to win at least 2 more fights before he could get that title shot, at least 1 more. So I would say it's a bit undeserving for Chiesa, but God, I just think that would be such an easy payday for Usman. Chiesa, he's good on the ground. His best attribute is his jiu-jitsu, but I don't think he has the wrestling to take Kamaru down. I think the only way that fight goes to the ground is if Usman takes him down, and I don't think Chiesa is good enough to submit him off the back. He's not good enough to stand with. He's not good enough to really strike with him and actually win exchanges, I don't think. Maybe he can land something here or there, but especially too with Usman's boxing coming along tremendously and his stand-up just progressing at a very, very fast rate, I think that fight would honestly be over within a round or 2. I don't think Chiesa would make it out of the 2nd round, so it is a little bit weird to be super undeserving. It would piss a lot of people off. I think if Leon Edwards beats Nate Diaz, I think that would honestly be the fight to make if they're not going to do Colby. That's the only other one that really makes sense. Or if Nate Diaz miraculously wins, which everyone would be shocked if that happened, I think. But if Nate Diaz actually wins, then yeah, put Nate Diaz in. Sure, why not? If he can beat Leon Edwards, he's proved that he's worthy of that position in that shot. So it's a little bit weird. I don't know. Maybe he likes Michael. Maybe he feels like it would just be a really easy payday. I almost feel like RDA would maybe be, RDA is now at 155, so that wouldn't make sense. Or Vincent Luque. I think he would be just as deserving, if not more deserving, than Michael Chiesa. So, it's a bit strange, but I guess we'll have to see what happens as, the days go on. I'm sure we'll get some interviews, we'll get some news as to what Kamaru is exactly thinking and what his thought process is behind choosing that. But I do have to say, man, he looked incredible in his last fight. His stand-up, his just awareness of where the fight was and where to take it, he looked absolutely phenomenal. So I gotta say, I think the only 2 guys that would have a real shot against him would be Leon or Colby. I think those are the only 2 guys. Other than that, I don't see anyone in the next, honestly, 3 to 5 years who could beat Usman. Unless, who knows if he's going to stay fighting for that long, because I think he is. I think he turned 34 recently. So who knows if he's actually going to stay fighting that long. But I don't see anyone beating him, in the next probably 3 to 5 years if he decides to keep going. So it'll be interesting to see. I definitely don't think Michael Chiesa should be getting the title shot, but if he does, you never know. Upsets can happen. Styles, a fighter's ability to adjust to another fighter's style is what makes the fight happen, and what makes, and what determines the outcome of the fight and determines the winner. So we'll have to see. It'll be interesting.